Good evening to the board chair, and those present this evening. My name is Shirley Spears, and I'm here representing the San Angelo NAACP Unit 6219. This is my second appearance before this board and this body regarding name changes relating to Confederacy names or Confederate names for both Robert E. Lee Middle School and Reagan Elementary. When I was here the last time, we were here to support Mr. Jesse Ramon in his petition for changing the name of Lee. I'd like to read you our support from the NAACP membership today regarding Robert E. Lee Middle School and Reagan Elementary. On behalf of the members of the San Angelo NAACP, this statement is to advise the board and those present that we are in support of the petition to change the name of Robert E. Lee Middle School made by Mr. Jesse Ramon, and are asking for consideration to change the name of Reagan Elementary. We have determined that both schools are named in honor of Confederate soldiers and/or politicians, such as in the case of John Henninger Reagan, whose positions against America are unworthy of such honor and continue to promote divisiveness, exclusion, discrimination, and racism. And I'd like to stop here based on some comments that were made by some of the other speakers. I am a product of the civil rights movement from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So what I have and what I feel is not anything that I imagined. This is what I lived as an African-American little girl during the civil rights movement. So if you were not an African-American, a lot of the things were easier for you to deal with during the 60s, no matter what minority group you were from. But if you were an African-American, you did not have an opportunity, for instance, to go to a school where you could open up a book and go to any page that your teacher may have instructed you without a page being missing, torn up, what have you. So if you didn't experience some of these things, you can't adequately speak to it. You can empathize, but you cannot adequately speak to the discrimination, the horror, and how it hurts to be not considered and not even visible in America. We have determined in the NAACP that both men were honored with the naming of schools, and in the case of General Robert E. Lee, we're aware of efforts to remove his name and related status from his current place of honor. Today, we want to advise the San Angelo Independent School District Board and those present that we are requesting consideration to change these two school names and are prepared to offer recommended name changes that show pride and appreciation to our current mantra of San Angelo Strong. Now is the time to put these issues to rest and embrace those who felt uncomfortable as students and staff in the hallways of these facilities of education. I spoke to a young woman today in her early 50s who attended Robert E. Lee, and she told me about her horrible experience. She's only in her early 50s. To be at the school named after a Confederate, and she was one of those smart students, and she understood what that meant. We appreciate that you are taking time to consider the request of the tax-paying public, former students, concerned parents, historians, educators, and principled people in this community. Thank you for all that you do for the students and community of San Angelo. We trust you will do what is right in this instance at such a time as this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Spears.